And so when people ask me, they said, well, why do you do dope? But I say, no. You say you drink? I say, no. So, well, why you be bumming around everywhere? I say, because I'm a bum. And they called me Bumdog after that, and it just kind of stuck. I grew up in L.A. Mother's grew up raised by a single mother in the south of this area, in the Crenshaw district.
Okay, and do you have any siblings?
Yeah, but I don't talk to them anymore.
Okay, are you the oldest, youngest?
Youngest. My mother and father met in college. He was a professor, and she was studying adult education. Yeah, in Boston, and then she came out here, and I was raised here.
Did you go to college? Did you go to
No, I dropped out after the seventh grade, and then I learned stuff self-educated. I have a seventh grade education, essentially. No, I've never been married. I've had girlfriends, but it's been a while because the women that I meet are either above me in the sense that they live a life that's not really down to earth like I am, or they're below me, as in they're totally fucked up on dope. You know, every once in a while you meet someone in the middle, but even then there's something wrong. You know.
And have you always referred to yourself as Bumdog?
Yeah, someone because I don't drink. I lived most of my life on the streets because that's how you travel. You know, you can either travel with a lot of money or no money. Anything in between is just vacationing. So I never had any hope of getting a lot of money. So I just learned how to live on the streets. And so when people ask me, they said, "Well, why do you do dope?" But I say, "No." You say you drink? I say, "No." So, well, why you be bumming around everywhere? I say, because I'm a bum. And they called me Bumdog after that, and it just kind of stuck.
I love it. And what came first, the photography or traveling?
Well, I've always been a visual person. I visualize, I can see things in a visual, I think visually. I think that's the proper terminology for it. So I started out as in video. I was making films, and I have a natural sense of composition. Then when I got back from Thailand, I bought an iPhone off this guy, and I started shooting self portraits in broken glass.
Tell me the story about the iPhone. I read a little bit about it, and then
Oh, well, I hadn't.
your skills.
I didn't have. I didn't have a smartphone until 2014 when I got back from Thailand. And the first couple of days I was here, I met this guy who had found an iPhone in the garbage, and he wanted to sell it for 150. And I said, I'll give you $50 for it. And he said, nah. But I knew he was going to sell it because he's a dope fiend, you know. So I just had to shadow him for like 2 or 3 days until he started jonesing. And he says, yeah, okay, I'll sell it for $50. So I'll give him the $50. And I was very inspired by a photographer named Vivian Mayer, either Mayer or Meyer. And she did a lot of self-portraits. You know, she's famous for her self-portraits. So when I would walk around through the alleys, if I found a mirror that had been thrown away, I'd take a photograph in it. So I would take self-portraits in these broken mirrors or any type of mirror that I saw. And it was just something to do. I mean, I maybe did it once or twice a week or whatever, but it wasn't, it's just a little project to keep my mind busy.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, so it started like that. And then that went on for, I guess, about 4 years. And then a gallery up in Denver said they wanted to show my stuff in their gallery. So I said, sure. And after that, I started taking myself a little bit more seriously. And then in 2019, I got a medium range camera, Panasonic Lumix. And then I started taking real portraits of people.
How'd you end up in Thailand?
First, I went to Maui. I was there for 3 years. And from there, I went to Thailand. Actually, I was on my way to India because I wanted to teach film in India. But a friend of mine in Thailand had I met up with him and we decided to make a short film. And that took all my time. I was supposed to leave in a month, but since we were doing that, I didn't have the time to get my visa and everything. So I kind of got stuck in Thailand for like another 3 years.
So that was your occupation?
No, it was just something I did. No, I've always been a bum, just living out on the streets. I left LA I was 21 or 22, and I went to San Francisco, and then I traveled across the United States, and then I was in the Florida, and then Key West, and then I went to London, and then Amsterdam, and then Paris, and then the south of France, and then Spain, and then Morocco, and then I went back to Spain, and then I got deported from Spain for being over my visa, all the way back to LA.
What was like the place that left like the most impact on you that you've traveled
Impact?
to? Somewhere that you'd like to go back maybe, or something
Oh, I like
that you think
Thailand was really great. Thailand has, as far as countries go, as far as living, Thailand has the most positives as opposed to negatives. Like you can live in America, but there's a lot of positives, but there's a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
You can live in, say, Germany, but there's a lot of positives, but there's also a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
In Thailand, Thailand has the most positives as opposed to the negatives. It's cheap. You know, the people are very, very friendly. You know, very beautiful place. You can go into the countryside. The only negative, well, if you're a foreigner, it's a very negative because, you know, you can't really get Thai citizenship. It's hard to stay there as a foreigner, you know, so that's difficult. That's a negative. And also, a few other things, but minor things. As far as positives versus negatives, it has the most.
Which is interesting though you mentioned that, because I know of a lot of like Americans who live in Thailand. But they must not have the citizenship.
No, they just keep going doing visa runs.
Okay.
Yeah. Which can be annoying, but I mean, like you said, a lot of people do it for decades.
Yeah. How about your films?
Well, the first film I made was when I was in downtown LA, and I started in 2004, and I saw a demonstration of iMovie, and not a demonstration, but I saw someone use iMovie, and I said, wow, that's really easy. And all you needed was like a really cheap camera and, just iMovie to edit on. So I got this idea in my head to, shoot a little piece of just me waking up in the parking lot where I was sleeping at the time. And then I got an idea of I'll shoot something else called just me walking around the neighborhood. And I thought, well, if I combine these two pieces together, I kind of have like a short film. So I just started adding on things, and the only criteria was me, was someone to help me shoot it, and me just walking around, and then of course iMovie to edit on. So I just started adding things on in my mind, and when it was finished, I had like a 2.5 hour movie in my head, but it took me like 3 years to make the whole thing.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Because you kept on thinking of new ideas, or
no, it's because it's hard. It's hard. You can't just shooting anything is very difficult. I mean, organizing 2 or 3 people together is that's it. Yeah, it was grinding. It was grinding work. It was very, 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 very hard.
But of course, you enjoy it. Would you say?
Well, it's like dude right there said. You get kind of addicted to it.
Okay.
I did it. And I did something that very few people have ever done.
To say the least, yes. Yeah. Yes. Being on the streets, I can imagine that you see a lot of people who suffer with like addiction. Would you say like the majority of people?
It is a majority. It used to be like 95% of people were on drugs or alcohol, but now it's down to maybe like 80% because mainly because you get a lot of people just can't afford homes anymore. Before, you could afford a home, they just preferred to spend it on dope. Now, even if you don't do dope, you can barely afford a home or afford rent. Well, when I got back from Thailand, everyone was intense. And before that, you never were.
What year was that?
2014. Okay. I left LA in 2008. Well, basically late 2007. And when I got back, it was swarms. The homelessness was, people lived in tents, and it had really taken over. Since Karen Bass became mayor, it actually has come down considerably because they put people in homes and gave them vouchers and stuff like that. So that helped a great deal.
Any goals for the future?
I just try to keep projects in front of me that I can, keep myself busy with mainly. Yeah.
Any advice to people starting out?
Well, if you're going to be a filmmaker, the first thing I say is make a feature film. No, don't make a short film. Make a feature film. Make it like a 80, 90-minute film. because once you do that, you'll realize whether you want to be a filmmaker or not. You know, because it's so difficult, it's so hard. Now, if you can do it, 90% of people, 95% of people call themselves filmmakers, have never made a feature film, although they talk about it. But 95% of them haven't made one. 95% of the people who've made one feature film never make another one because it's just too hard.
Interesting.
When they find out, okay, this is what it takes to make a feature film, I don't want to do this anymore. Basically, that's so make a feature film just so you know whether you want to do it again.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
No problem.